Welcome to CSEGuru. In this session, we will discuss the topic array with functions. In the previous session, we have discussed how to pass individual array elements to functions. With example, we have discussed. In this session, we will discuss how to pass the whole array to functions. Okay. So the topic is passing whole array to functions. The rules we need to follow here is function must be called by passing only the name of the array. Okay, only name of the array we need to pass while calling the function. This is the first rule. The next rule is declare the parameter in function definition as same in actual parameter. So the function definition should be same as like in actual parameter. No need to specify the array size. It is not necessary. Okay, to specify the array size. These two rules we need to follow to pass the whole array to functions. So the example we are going to discuss here is bubble shot. And here this is the function declaration, void bubble shot and int a. So here we have used the empty square bracket because we are not specifying the array size here. Okay. So the advantage of not specifying the array size here is any size we can able to utilize during execution. That is the meaning. Okay. So array size is not at all a restriction here if you declared like this. And next int n. One is array we have declared as integer and the variable n we have declared as integer. And in the main function we have declared the array with the size and n and I are the variables. So in the main function we have declared with the array size 20 in the sense maximum 20 elements we can able to utilize. Okay. But here the function declaration we have not given the array size during declaration. Then printf, enter the number of items, then get the value of n. Okay, so for example, n I have given 5 elements and enter the items to be sorted. So for example, I have given, so when I value equal to 0, in a of 0 position, some value we can give, some 20 I have given. And next I gets incremented to 1. When I value is 1, in a of 1 position, we need to give some value using the scanf statement. So I'm giving 10. And I gets incremented to 2. A of 2, some value we can able to specify. 15 I have given. Then like A of 3, 5. And A of 4. Totally, I have specified n value is 5. So here I can give up to 5 elements. Okay. So here I have given the elements 20, 10, 15, 5 and 7. After specifying the elements, next the user-defined function bubble shot is called. Okay. And here if we are considering in the sense, we are passing two parameters. One is a and another one is n. So check here, a we are passing like a variable, not array, right? When you are passing like a variable in the sense, it can hold the complete elements. That is the meaning. So whatever the elements, input elements we have given, it will hold the complete elements and that will be passed to the user-defined function. That is the meaning. Okay. So previous example, if you are considering in the sense, a of I we have used and the formal parameter we have used like a variable x. Okay. So in a of I position, what is the value? That will be passed to x. That will be copied to x. So only individual element we have passed in the previous example. But here if we are considering in the sense, we need to pass whole array. So if you want to pass the whole array, it is not necessary to specify a of I likewise. Okay. Here simply the array name if you are passing in the sense, that is enough. Okay. So here we are passing the array name with the n value. Okay. So array name will hold the complete array elements. That is the meaning. So when this user-defined function is called in the sense, control will be transferred to the corresponding user-defined function. And here the bubble shot example is there. And here if you are considering in the sense, in function declaration and function definition, that is function header of function definition, the format should be same. That is here we have used the array name along with empty square bracket. Here also we have to use the array name along with the empty square bracket. So when you are passing the array, it is not necessary to specify the array with the size or without size. It is not necessary. Only array name is enough. Okay. So simply this array name A completely will hold the total array elements. But when it is passed to the user defined function, there it has to store the complete array elements, right? So it has to be specified like A of empty square bracket, the array name without specifying the size. So here automatically from the starting location, how many elements is there, automatically it will be allocated, since we have not specified the size here. And after sorting the elements with this return statement, user defined function will send the result to the called function, and then it will print in the output screen what is the sorted elements. Okay. So now we will check the logic of this bubble sort. So here the array elements we have passed here is A of 0th location 20, A of 1 10, A of 2 15, A of 3 5, and A of 4th location 7. Okay. So this is the input element we have given, and that is passed from the main function to the user defined function. For j equal to 1, j less than n, j plus plus. So n value we have passed here is 5. Totally 5 elements we have passed. And the array elements are 20, 10, 15, 5, and 7. So initially j value is equal to 1. And 1 less than 5, condition true. And the control will be transferred to the inner for loop. Inner for loop I equal to 0, 0 less than 5, condition true. Okay. And then control will be transferred to this if statement. If A of I greater than or equal to A of I plus 1. In A of I position, I value is 0. Okay. In A of 0 position, what is the value? And A of 0 plus 1, that is A of 1 position, what is the value? We have to check whether it is greater than or equal to. Okay. This condition is true in the sense these statements will execute. So check here. A of 0 position and A of 1 position, whether it is greater than or equal to. Yes, condition is true. So what we have to do? Implement this statement. That is, temp is equal to A of I. So A of I value is, that is A of 0th value is 20. 20 we are storing with the temporary variable, and A of I plus 1. A of I plus 1 is 1 position, value is 10. That will be stored with A of I. A of I is 0. And then what we have stored in temp, that will be stored with A of I position. Simply the meaning is exchange these two elements. That is the meaning. So now exchange 10 and 20. Okay. Now these two elements got exchanged, and the remaining elements will be same as it is. Okay. And in the next iteration, inner for loop I gets incremented to 1. So now we have to check with A of 1 and check the condition with A of 1 plus 1, that is A of 2. So first position element will be as it is. Okay. Now check with A of 1 and A of 2, whether it is greater than or equal to. Yes, condition is true. Then exchange using these three statements. Okay. So now 15 and 20 will get exchanged, and the remaining elements will be as it is. And in the next iteration of inner for loop, I gets incremented to 2. Okay. So now the first two elements will be as it is. Now the third element and fourth element we have to check if this position, if A of 2 position element is greater than A of 3, in the sense exchange those two elements. Okay. And the remaining elements will be as it is. And in the next iteration, inner for loop I gets incremented to 3. Then check with A of 3 and A of 4 position elements. So the first A of 0th position, first position, second position, everything will be same. Okay. Now compare A of 3 position and A of 4 position element, whether it is greater than or equal to. Yes, condition is true. So these two will get exchanged. So now in the next iteration of inner for loop, I gets incremented to 4. Condition fails, and the inner for loop will terminate here. Now control will be transferred to outer for loop. So at the end of the first iteration of jth for loop, the first largest element in the array will bubble up at the last position. Okay, so this is the first iteration of outer for loop. And the second iteration of outer for loop, similarly, if you are considering in the sense, at the end of the second iteration, the second largest element will bubble up at the second largest position. That is the meaning. Okay. So now if you are considering the second iteration of jth for loop, the elements is 10, 15, 5, 7. And the 20 already occupied its position. We won't disturb here. Okay. Now j value is equal to 2. Then control will be transferred to inner ith for loop. And here if you are checking in the sense, when I value is 0, okay, in A of 0th position and A of 1 position, we need to compare the elements, whether this is greater than or equal to. 10 is the smallest element, 15 is the largest element. So no need to exchange here. This if statement will not execute. Simply, both the elements will occupy the same position only. So now the 10 and 15 will occupy same position only. Okay. In the next iteration, I gets incremented to 1. Compare A of 1 position and A of 2 position element, whether it is greater than or equal to. So here if you are considering in the sense, A of 1 position is 15, A of 2 position is 5. This if statement condition is true, so it will exchange both of the elements. So now 5 will occupy here, 15 will occupy here. Okay, and the remaining element will be as it is. And in the next iteration, this 10, 5 will be there. These two elements will be compared whether it is greater than or equal to. Yes, condition is true. So 7 and 15 will get exchanged. And in the next iteration, inner for loop gets incremented to 4. And check the condition whether 4 less than n minus j. So n minus j, if you are considering in the sense, n value is 5, 5 minus 1 in the sense 4. So 4 less than 4 in the sense condition fails. So this inner for loop will terminate. Control goes to outer for loop. Now at the end of the second iteration of jth for loop, the second largest element will bubble up at its next largest position. Okay. Similarly, third iteration of jth for loop, if you are executing in the sense, the third largest element, 10 will occupy its next largest position. Okay. And the next iteration, fourth iteration of jth for loop, the next largest element, 7 will occupy its position. Okay. And then the outer for loop condition fails, the program will terminate. So, every iteration of jth for loop, one largest element will bubble up at its largest position. Okay. Likewise, the procedure continues according to the size of the array. Okay. So, this is the logic of bubble shot example. And here, we have passed the whole array, not a single array element. We have passed the whole array to function and we have executed this example. So, this is the way to implement passing whole array to functions. So, if you are considering array and functions, we can able to pass individual elements to functions also, or we can able to pass the whole array elements to function also. However it is required, we can able to pass and implement. Okay. Thank you for watching this video.